Happy holidays, everybody. Sorry, couldn't find my holiday hat. So, last night I went to see The Desolation of Smaug. I was gonna go see Frozen, but I ended up seeing Smaug instead. Wasn't disappointed. So basically, the journey continues for our band of dwarves. That's pretty much all there is. They're still being hunted by Azog, I think that's what his name is. They come across the forest elves of Mirkwood, and they finally get to the Lonely Mountain, and they finally meet Smaug. That is pretty much the entire story in a nutshell. Now, the one thing that everybody is going to talk about is, was this faithful to the book? To be honest, I'm still reading the book. I have not made it all the way through, but again, everyone keeps saying, here's the book. It's one book. It's not a trilogy like The Lord of the Rings, and this is how thick it is. You could probably have done this in a 2-hour movie, but Peter Jackson likes to stretch things out, likes to touch on things, and just likes to expand and add characters. I know a lot of the purists, and I actually saw it last night with a purist who kept saying, you know, that didn't go right, that was different, that was stretched out and padded out. You know, if you're gonna nitpick that, then don't bother seeing it. And that's trying to be nice to the purists out there who I know. I mean, even me, I'm still mad about the way they treated the Mandarin in Iron Man 3, so I'm not one to complain about Hollywood getting it exactly right. But overall, what did I think? I thought it was pretty awesome. When I look at this movie, basically, I'm not going by the book. I just see a 3-hour fantasy action movie. I was not bored with this movie at all. Even the parts where they're just talking, they were really good. A few things I gotta say. One of my favorite parts had to be the giant spiders. As they're passing through Mirkwood, I don't want to spoil too much, but they're passing through Mirkwood, and wrong Baggins. Bilbo has to fight the spiders with his sword. One of my favorite scenes is the spiders are actually talking, and one of them, when he stabs one of them, it yells, "It stings! It stings!" And he suddenly thinks, Sting! That's a great name for a sword, especially one so small. I'm sorry, I just like that. Next thing to talk about, we get to meet the elves. I have to admit, when they finally meet, Thranduil, the Elf King, I think that's how I'm pronouncing his name right. Again, he was briefly touched on. He just didn't help the dwarves when Erebor was under attack. And you think he did it for he had personal reasons. Nah, he kind of was a douche. He looked down on the dwarves, he had issues with them, and he said that the attack on Erebor by Smaug was their own fault. Kinda don't like him. Kinda wondering what's gonna happen to him. Also, he's the father of Legolas. Yep, Legolas is in this movie. Not quite as friendly and happy as he was in the first movie. In the first trilogy, anyway. Surprised he still looks that young. But definitely, of course, we have Gandalf on his own little side quest as he goes to investigate the case of the Necromancer a little bit more. And I gotta admit, that I'm glad they're finally expanding on that. Because, you know, it's a little bit cameo, there's kind of like a teaser trailer for that. And it's like, oh, there's something evil in Dol Guldur. No, he's here in all of his full evil glory. And you're not gonna believe who he really is. And then, of course, the biggest reason that I've already heard critics saying the biggest and best reason to see this. Again, the one character who was cameoed in the first movie, Smaug. They show little bits of a dragon, little silhouettes of a dragon, but they never actually show us a dragon. Well, here they finally managed to show him in all of his glory, and you know what? He was worth the wait. Basically, yeah, Smaug is he is huge. He is like Godzilla huge. And one of my favorite moments, I have to admit, is when Bilbo is sneaking into Erebor, and he's trying to get past Smaug, and one of the first things that happens, of course, is that Smaug wakes up, he puts on the ring, no, Bilbo puts on the ring, he's invisible for a minute, but then he comes out of the shadows, and Smaug is just like, "Who are you? Are you here to steal from me?" And Bilbo's like, No, I've heard your legends, and I came to see if they were true, and I have to admit, I love this. Smaug actually almost poses for him, and we get our first full big reveal of just how big and how impressive he looks. And Smaug is just like, "So, do I live up to the legends?" And Bilbo is just like, "Oh no, you exceed the legends. You are awesome." Yeah, I mean, it's like a funny little conversation between two characters before Smaug says, "Okay, now I have to kill you," but I liked it. And Smaug is just a great villain. Again, he's like Godzilla, although he might be a little bit bigger, and he's not radioactive, of course. And I've heard a lot of critics say that he's the best dragon ever committed to film, so who am I to argue? Okay, so lots of action, lots of good character development actually here. I think Keely gets a girlfriend. You won't believe who. And yeah, lots of action, it's just this great universe that you just get sucked into, and it's just so much fun. It's probably why I didn't mind that it's, 3 hours long and divided into 3 movies. But I am definitely going to go back. I'm going to try to read this to see what Tolkien really put in there. Either way, I'm going to give this a 9 out of 10, and I'm going to highly recommend that you go see it. Hopefully next time, I'm going to see Frozen. And until then, Merry Christmas.